I'm Becky.
I'm Sarah.
And we are doing Bickering book reviews, and today we are going to do a series spotlight on the series The Fifth Wave by Yancy. The first book in the series is The Fifth Wave, the second one is The Infinite Sea, and the third one is The Last Star, which we don't have with us because there were 45 holds on it.
Because everyone wants to read it.
Because it's a big deal, because there was a movie. So The Fifth Wave, it's basically where the story starts, and it is about actually an alien invasion, and that there are all these different waves. The first wave knocked out the power, the second wave brought
the tidal wave.
The third wave was the illness, and the fourth wave was
the like, how do you even describe it? The people the aliens integrating into their brains, and you can't trust anybody.
Basically. And then the fifth wave, you find out what the fifth wave is in the book. And we're going to do this really hard without doing any spoilers, so it's going to be difficult. So to find out what the fifth wave is, you have to read the book, The Fifth Wave, or watch the movie. I think it's in the movie. But don't watch the movie, it wasn't very good.
I couldn't get through it, but I fell asleep.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to try again, but I fell asleep.
I just, no. So, I had already read these when they came out, and I loved The Fifth Wave when it came out. When The Infinite Sea came out, I was like, and then I didn't read Last Star until I read all three again for this. No.
So I read it twice too. I read The Fifth Wave. I basically read them all when they first came out. The only thing is, Fifth Wave didn't do so well for me because it came out at the same time another alien book came out. And, several actually, and I like the others better than that one. So I like The Infinite Sea better than I liked Fifth Wave. I felt that it moved faster.
I loved The Fifth Wave. I felt Yancy did a really, really, really good job showing how you can have these human experiences and these human moments in something that's horrific. I thought that it showed how people hold on to their humanity. I thought that he was really just did this incredible arcing of what's actually important and what makes people human. And I listened to them all because they're really good audiobooks. And I liked the fact that it was just, the first book was really just Ben and Cassie, and every so often you had a little bit of narration from Evan, but not a lot. And I liked the fact that he kind of narrowed the story down to these humans experiencing these human things. And the second time I listened to it, still really loved it. Infinite Sea, I thought that when he kind of splintered the narration and made it very sci-fi, he kind of lost me. And I felt by the end of The Last Star that it was just a science fiction book and we lost the human aspects. Even though they keep saying we're being so human, we're staying human, I felt like it lost the humanness.
And I think maybe that makes sense because I feel like I tend to like sci-fi more than you. It felt a lot like Ender's Game to me.
And I hate Ender's Game.
And I really like that. I think he still had poignant things to say throughout, even in the last book, but I think that there were more of them. It was more focused in the first book. I think you're right, it did become more about story and about plot and less about saying something about humanity as it went on.
I felt the last book took way too long to get to the point. I wasn't thrilled with the ending, but I could have accepted the ending if it didn't feel like it dragged on forever.
I just felt confused. I felt like I'm still not quite sure. Like, I know what the fifth wave is, but I don't know the whole mechanics of it. And I don't really know the whole mechanics of a lot of, even just how the aliens were integrated with everything. And don't tell me because that will totally be spoiler, but a lot of just the mechanics of it all didn't make sense to me. And even the mechanics of the game that Razor set up in the second book, I'm still wait, what?
Right, and the whole Razor Ringer thing, the conclusion with that was just very...
It's all just kind of I feel like I'm just not getting it all.
I didn't care enough about Ringer for when she had this whole arc in the third book. I was like, I get to back to the people I care about. I love Ben, I love Cassie, I even kind of liked Evan. I thought, and the ragtag group of people who left the Air Force Base, I felt like there was a disservice done to them with what happened to each of them. But I can see why that happened to each of them because it is a war book. And I felt that was part of it too. I think if it had been a book about, that was yes, it was an alien invasion, but it was really what people go through when they're at war, it would have worked for me. But it was just so science fiction-y. And I felt like it lost something. I felt like it lost kind of part of his voice. And I really liked his other series, The Monstermologist. I thought he did a really good job with that too.
I haven't finished that one yet. No, I think because it was so confusing, just you didn't really know who the enemy was. you know, near the end of it, even throughout like fifth wave, you still don't know who the enemy is. And I think that's kind of where it started to lose focus, in that like you don't know like even if the main characters are the enemy or not. Like it got really confusing, I think. Like I don't know. And like that was the point of the book, that was the point of the war, but like I don't know.
I don't know if I cared enough to be confused by the end. I don't know if I cared enough to try to get back to focus. I was just like, oh, get it over with. Like, make it end.
Yeah, well, and I kind of felt that way, but I don't know if it's because I was trying to power through these books over the weekend, so.
Yeah, because I had read them, actually re-listened to them last week, and I gave myself a lot of time. And again, re-listening to them, like, it was like Fifth Wave, Infinity, Last Star. It was like each one was just like a step down for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, the third one was meh. I don't know, the fifth one just seemed to take forever for me. It could be that I was reading large print and it was 600 pages.
See, and I like large print because it makes me feel like I'm reading super fast. I'm like, yay, I'm so smart. I'm reading so fast.
Yeah, no, it could be that.
Okay, so let's rate this. How did you rate the whole series?
The whole series, I'd probably give it 1 fairy.
I would too. Like Fifth Wave, Unicorn, Infinite Sea, Fairy, Last Star, Goblin, so we're averaging it fairy.
Yeah, I'm just at fairy because, like I said, there were other books that I read that were way better than that. I get it was a very intelligent take on humanity. I think it would appeal more to adults. I don't think it really would. The story's pretty heavy. Like, it's thick. It's hard to get through. It's hard to wade through. It doesn't go quickly. But I don't know if a teen would really want to stick.
I've had a lot of hardcore sci-fi teens who liked the Fifth Wave when it first came out.
Okay, so maybe your hardcore sci-fi teens would be.
Maybe that's what you need, is a hardcore sci-fi. And I'm not hardcore sci-fi, and I love the Fifth Wave, and I was super excited when the movie came out, and then I was like, oh, that's what they did with that.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with the Fifth Wave. So thanks for joining us. Bye, guys.
Bye.